Today we're going to work a little bit on your knees and ankles. You see, as we age, I have noticed that people's knees give out very quickly, knees and hips. That leads to instability, and then people fall and they damage their hips, etc. So there are two major reasons why there are knee problems. Number one is organic, and number two is physiological. The organic reason is that the knees are connected to the kidney energy. In fact, the kidney meridians run around the knees. So when we are exhausted and the adrenal energy is low, then the knees take the brunt. Also, I remember many years ago when I was standing on a precipice and I leaned forward, my knees became weak. So whenever there is a fear issue, the knees buckle. So knees are very connected to the emotions and the kidneys. We'll deal with that in a larger context of a workshop. But today, I want to give you some things you can do to strengthen your knees physiologically and use the meridians to stimulate the knee energy. Let's start with the meridians. So what you will need is something like this. You can use the back of a pen. You may use a round wooden ball. You can use something that will press. This is actually an acupressure pointer. It's a device that you can hold firmly and press. The point that we're going to be working on is called the knee point. So if you here trace your heel like so, then in front of your heel right here at the bottom of the arch of the foot is the kidney point, which is also the knee point. Now I'll tell you a story. There was a student of mine, his name was Steve, and he really felt good with the practice. So he asked his parents to join. And his parents were in their 80s. And the mother's major problem was knees. She said, my knees ache all the time. And you know, at that age when you haven't done a strong practice your whole life, you really can't do all the stuff that we can do to aid with the knees. So I decided to give her something really simple that she could do every day. I gave her a small wooden ball, about 1 centimeter in diameter, which is about a little wider than half an inch, and asked her to put it there and step on it, to stand and to step on that ball and work around until you found the painful point. And then when you find the point that goes, oh my God, that hurts, then you're not even close. You have to go and keep finding until you find the point where I cannot put any weight on this. Oh my God, my whole body burns. It burns up to your ears actually, because that point goes all the way up to your ears, because the ears are connected to the kidneys. And you can feel the ears getting hot. That's the correct point. And so she started doing that. She started slowly. You do it for about 5 breaths, release. 5 breaths, release. 5 breaths, release. And you do that for 2 minutes, 3 times a day. And at that age, she had nothing else to do. So you can easily do it 3 times a day. And she did it. Within 2 weeks, her knee pain was gone. She thanked me forever. She said, it's unbelievable. Because it was not as much physiological as it was energetic. So for energetic issues, you take this thing right there and go ahead. You can use your hand. Catch it like an ice pick. Yeah, and then go in there. And then fiddle until you find the point and the point and the point. And if there are knee issues in potentia or there is exhaustion, you will find a point which is unbelievably painful. So work on that like that. Try to find the point, press it, oh, and then release. Press it, hold for a few seconds, and release. Do that several times on both legs, because we have 2 kidneys and 2 knees. You found one?
I found a couple.
Found a couple. Okay. Do the other leg also. So do it right now with me. Don't just sit around. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's more effective when you take a wooden ball and put your body weight on it. But even though it feels good, it's important not to overdo it. Because if you overdo it, then you'll get runny bowels because it detoxes. If you don't mind runny bowels, then overdo it. I remember the first time my father had a full treatment on his feet, which lasted an hour and a half. He was so happy, he felt so good, but the next day he couldn't leave the bathroom. That was such a strong dump. Okay, so there's one very important point that you need to know for your knees. The next thing we'll do is physiological, structural. So structurally, I want you to lie on your back so that you can work on strengthening tendons and the muscles. There are no muscles around your knee, but the muscles that tie with the tendons. So, bend your knees, place both feet on the floor, hip width apart. And then take this leg and put your hands behind your hamstrings, just under the knee. Yeah, that way. Then on the exhalation, slowly straighten your leg. But as you straighten, press away from the knee with the big toe mound, the little toe mound, the inner heel and the outer heel. So those four corners of your feet have to be pressed away as you straighten as much as you can, and then bend slowly. Don't let go. Bend consciously. So you're not using gravity. So do this 9 times. So just now, as you're holding it, slowly straighten with those 4 points on the soles of your feet, going away from your knee. Straighten and bend consciously. Now some of you, if your knees are not quite aligned, will have crackle and pop in your knee. Do it less range of motion so that the crackle and pop is not there. The crackle and pop will slowly ease itself as the knee regenerates. I normally do a lot of work with nutrition. So I'll briefly tell you what will help you with your knees. One of the primary nutritional supplements is bone broth. To use chicken bone broth, there are 3 types of bone broths. Beef bones, chicken bones and fish bones. If you can get all 3 of them to get the balanced collagen, you can do that. Otherwise, just chicken bone broth. And now let's do the other leg. So interlock your hands behind your hamstrings, that means behind your leg at the hamstrings, and then slowly straighten, slowly bend. Everything conscious, all movements in control. Remember what happens with the knee? When you feel out of control, they collapse. So by bringing control, you're developing the opposite side of the knee's ability. So I've taught these exercises and these little modifications of yoga for decades and decades. Astonishing results with people who actually do the stuff. Not people who watch the video, but people who actually do it. So 9 of these. When you're done, slowly straighten out your legs. Take your arms overhead, shoulder width apart, and then press your buttocks into your heels, stretching out the lower body, and pull your belly into your palms, drawing the upper body. So the front of the upper body, the back of the lower body. That again brings the energy flow through the whole body. On the inhalations, relax. On the exhalations, stretch. This is recommended as soon as you get up in the morning as well, to harmonize the flows of energy in your body. In Purna Yoga, we call it the full body stretch. Let's do 5 of them today. But really squeeze your legs together, really press the toe mounds away and the heels away. When you're done, bend your knees, roll over to your right and get up. I've showed you 2 things today, right? One energetic and one physical. Start doing these. If you can't do it 3 times a day, do it twice a day. Heck, do it once a day. And you'll notice that in a week or so, you are more stable when you walk. Even when you step off a curb, when you climb stairs, when you are using your quadriceps, this will help stabilize your knee joint. More later. May you be blessed with health, wealth, and happiness. Namaste.